Hey, thokozani bogogo, thokozani bomkhulu, thokozani everywhere. Gamagu, Ndawo, Shewe, Ebukhosini, wherever you are. The one who's greeting you, Mafavuke njengedangamane. Isihlahla kasisho umtukulu kamatikeretane hangarantima. Kutulatula nyama senkopolo ningayiboni kuzaqa kodwa igcwele amafutha umgadlela kandaba. Inyanga mthakathi. Ngiyanibingelela ke nonke ke ngithemba ukuthi niphilile wherever you are. I hope you are fine. It's been some time not putting in a video, but I'm glad that now I've got one that I'm going to talk about. I've got a topic that I've got that we will talk about. There are several topics that are in the lineup that I want to talk about. It's just a matter of time. Yeah, today I want to talk about a topic which is called Lihlambo, or it's called cleansing. Cleansing for the dead. Those who are in Swaziland, they talk about it as Gugeza Emant. When I was still growing up, I used to be confused. Why are they calling it Gugeza Emant? I'm sure that there are some other people who still don't understand why it was called Gugeza Emant. Because uma gufa kufikile ekhaya, it means something bad has happened like ekhaya. And lo gufa, it's a bad omen. It's something that is bad that has happened like high. So after everything has been done, it means that bad omen, that thing, it has to be cleansed among us, especially from the people who are associated with that person. You see, those people must be cleansed, especially to those people who have got the blood for that person who have passed on, the close relatives. Those ones are supposed to be cleansed when such event or such terrible tragic thing has happened in the family. So in Swaziland they used to call it Kukezemanti because if you could remember very well, when such has happened, when death has happened in the family, but it's semanzini, which means it's like some bad water have covered the whole family. While especially during the period before the burial, you will hear the people in Swaziland saying sisemanzini. Sisemanzini, it means we are in the waters. So, and then after this, everything has happened and the funeral, then what was happening is that that water that they were in must be cleansed. That's why bathi kugeza emanzi, then bakumele bageze lamanzi lebe bakuwe njengoba bathi bebasemanzini, kumele after that abese lamanzi ayagezwa, ayasuswa kubo lawo manzi la khona, because in most of our African spirituality, when someone has an encounter with the dead person, or his tomb, or a corpse, that person is like ungolile. You become spiritually dirty, and uba like some bad omens or bad spirit, or not bad spirit as such. Kuba like ngemashwa letsite or something bumnyama lobtsite, some dark clouds that is upon you, because when death comes into the family, it's like a dark cloud has covered that family. The dark cloud has covered that family. So after everything has happened, the family supposed to undergo a ceremony, which is that ceremony that they call it cleansing, where where the family is supposed to cleanse, so that to cleanse that bad omen, to cleanse that energy that has that dark cloud that has covered that family, especially after some days, or even mostly steady days in most families, especially after some days when that person has been buried. But I know that in some other families, immediately after they have buried their loved ones, because of distance especially, they simply conduct the cleansing thereafter. After they have done the burial, they simply conduct the cleansing. Cleansing is very, very important, because it makes you want to have misfortunes, abe nemabhadi, abe nesinyama, abe nebumnyama within that person. If one of your family members has passed on, especially the closest one, have passed on and you did not undergo the period of cleansing, so that could negatively affect you and affect your life. So that's why if you could remember very well, some people who are in like Izangoma, mostly of Izangoma, they normally don't frequently attend funerals because they know that when they attend funerals, especially when they become closer to the corpse or to the dead body, kuba nekungcola okuthile in their spirituality. So they're supposed to cleanse after that before they enter into their shrine or they enter endumbeni yabo to perform. They're supposed to cleanse. That's why Izangoma, most of the time they're not supposed to be people who attend funerals. Most of the time they're supposed to attend funerals, especially for a close relatives, or a very, very close friend, or a funeral of another Sangoma. Then they're supposed to attend. But even before they attend, maybe they go to attend a funeral, they're supposed to prepare some muti and put it outside their shrine or outside Indumba yabo, and prepare that mood so that when they come back from the funeral, they're supposed to cleanse themselves before they touch anything. Even before, I remember when we were still young, even my mother, whenever she comes back from funeral, even before she can even breastfeed a child or touch a child, she would use an ash and rub the ash into the hands and into her feet as a way of cleansing herself, so that the child will not be affected by the shadow or the image of the dead person be upon that person. Isithunzi sale ukufa singamleki lo mntwana, because otherwise le shadow lesithunzi sizomleka lo mntwana, maybe sim affect negative. So whenever my mother used to come back from the funeral, she used to do that. I know that people these days, they don't do it. Yeah, they don't do it. At least in some other even African homes, you will find that when you come back from the grave to bury, there are some water and some certain herbs that are put there so that you cleanse yourself from because you are so close in the grave and you're so close to the corpse. So you cleanse yourself. But as a family, they need to undergo a serious cleansing, because that thing it's done for those who are not close relatives. It's done maybe for the neighbors and the like. But those who are the close family, after everything has happened, they need to have a ceremony where they will even slaughter to cleanse, because when a person has passed on, you need to slaughter, not even a chicken, at least a goat. It's sufficient. A goat is sufficient for cleansing, because we will need the umswane. I don't know how do you call it umswane in English, but we need umswane and a little bit of bile from that goat. Because a goat, why a goat? Why is it a goat? You know the difference between a goat and a sheep. A sheep, it eats grass, but a goat, it eats plants. So those plants, they are mixed together inside the first stomach of the goat, and then we use those, which means at the end of the day, we use some trees, those trees which have been mixed by a goat when we do the cleansing. I don't know these goats there in townships, which sometimes they eat a lot of rubbish, and these ones from the farms, which you find them eating something chemicals that you don't even understand. That's why some of these goats that you buy from these white farmers, they are normally not suitable for cleansing, because when you check umswane wow, you will find with this umswane, it's not good enough for cleansing, because it will be like we are not cleansing with a proper stuff, because we are after the trees that are mixed together by the goat. So after the funeral has happened, it's very important that the family will gather together and cleanse. After that, then have a cleansing. See, one thing that I want to highlight, another thing that I want to highlight, there is this thing that where we claim that if a person maybe was working in a certain company, then that person now belongs to that company. If that person maybe was playing for a certain soccer team, that person now he belongs to that soccer team. If that person maybe was a policeman, it means that person now belongs to the police. No, it doesn't happen that way. A person will always belong to the family, will always be buried, is supposed to be buried by the family with the assistance of the friends and the neighbors and all the like. They come to assist through the burial. So this thing of whereby you find that you are not a relative and you are holding a casket or a coffin of a person because you are working with that person, or you are schooling with that person, or you were a friend or associated in different methods, it doesn't work, because at the end of the day, who is going to cleanse you if you get so close to the corpse? Who is going to cleanse you? You are not supposed to do that. Still, the family is supposed to carry on with the procession, no matter how the person was affiliating, because all these things that we are affiliating in those alamhlabeni lezo. If it doesn't mean that when I'm dead I'm still a policeman. This thing is just a temporal thing that I was doing ngila emhlabeni. So, but at the end of the day, I belong into a family. If those policemen, they come and hold my casket and all the like, then who is going to cleanse them at the end of the day? Who's going to cleanse them? Because when the family gathers for the cleansing, they won't be part of the ceremony at the end of the day. Because when we do the cleansing, we won't invite all those other people, but it normally becomes a family ceremony where we conduct and we do the cleansing together as family members. But then you find that there were people who were just friends, who were holding the casket, who were all doing all this thing. Then the question remains, who is going to cleanse those people? You see, so some people baba nema bad nema misfortune lebanga understand, because each and every day they come in contact with corpse which doesn't belong to them, and they don't even know who is going to cleanse them from those corpses. That's why Inyanga cannot just attend each and every funeral, You see, you need to remember, even kings, they don't attend funeral, because a king is standing on behalf of the gods of that particular country. So the kings resembles the Almighty of that particular nation. So the king is not supposed to go into the funeral. Some people, maybe they have noticed that kings, they don't attend the funerals. They will rather go and mourn with the family after everything has passed. Then they will go and mourn, because the king is not supposed to be closer to a dead, because who is going to cleanse him? Who is going to cleanse him? Because there is a king. So cleansing is very important, especially for such things. So it's very important that after one has passed on, depending to the family customs, how many days do they take? But it's very important for people to do cleansing, to avoid emabhadi, emashwa, neinyama. Sometimes ungasokola abantu bakushaya bakuzonde, because why? You are not cleansing after the death. I know that people these days, especially after the religion, especially those who are religious, they don't cleanse. But they do also suffer some consequences of refusing to be cleansed. So it's very important that after one has passed on, there must be a cleansing. And the home itself, where the body was, the home itself must be cleansed. The home itself must be cleansed. You see, when the family cleanse, even the home itself, it's supposed to undergo some certain cleansing. The home itself. It's not only about cleansing the family, but the home where the event was, where the funeral was conducted, where the corpse was, in that home, cleansing must also be conducted. It's very important that cleansing that home must also be cleansed of what has happened. That home also must also be cleansed. So, and I know that it's like this thing of some people, they don't even fetch their loved one from the spot where they lost their lives, which is also very, very, very important. Yeah, so I won't get into the process on how is the ceremony is conducted, the cleansing ceremony, how is it conducted. But my duty here was to highlight, because several people, when you, as a healer, a native doctor, there are so many people that I checked to them. When you check to the bones, you find that he didn't cleanse for his father, he didn't cleanse for his child, he didn't cleanse for his mother. Even those who commit abortion, they are supposed to cleanse, because a person is, and you can't cleanse abortion by a chicken, as I've seen now. It's a habit where those people, they just go to the river and cleanse it by chicken. Where that was a person who has passed on, and because that was a person who has passed on, it will require a god. And unfortunately or fortunately, when it's abortion, it requires two gods, because you still have to appease, because you have killed someone you have killed, you have taken life for someone, so you have to appease. There must be a god to appease the ancestors first before you go on cleansing. You have to appease the soul of the person which you have taken, and you have to appease also the ancestors and ask forgiveness, and then with a goat, and then you'll also need another goat, then that will be needed for cleansing. Because whether it's miscarriage is only one god, but whether it's miscarriage also, you have to undergo cleansing. So many people because they don't cleanse. They have never been cleansed for abortion. They have never been cleansed even for miscarriage. Because when anyone that you are bloodly associated, blood related, passes on, you are supposed to cleanse. You are supposed to undergo a certain cleansing. So it will depend to each and every family how many days after the funeral they decide to conduct the cleansing. But the cleansing is very, very important, that it must be conducted. The cleansing, it must be conducted. It's very important. So as I've said, I won't talk about the details on how the ceremony, but this ceremony, you can't do it with chicken. It will require a goat. You can't do it with a chicken. It will require a goat, because we need umswane and a little bit of bile from the goat. So my idea and my aim here, it was to highlight the importance, because as I divine for people, I have seen several people who have not undergo this ceremony of cleansing after they've lost their loved one. That this ceremony is very, very important, that once you have lost your loved one, you must also cleanse. You see, so and even when you come so close to a dead person, you must have used some muti to cleanse yourself. So as I've said, that I won't even mention the muti, but there are several mutis, herbs, that have to be mixed with umswane, and mixed with a little bit of bile. Then you do the cleansing. You cleanse the home, you cleanse the children, you cleanse anyone within the family. Hayi, siyathokoza nebengwazi, siyathokoza kini nonke. Hayi, siyabonga. Siyavalelisa ke uma favuke njengedangamane esihlahla kasisho umntulu kamatikeretane hangarantima uduladula inyama yasenkopolo ningayiboni kuzacha kodwa ugcwele amafutha umgadlela kaNdaba. If you want more information, don't forget that you can contact me on 082 802 7931. And remember now, siyahlola over the phone. We can do it, which time they say it online, and we can do it even in person. You can come in person, But some people, they are very far, they cannot come, but we do uhlola over the phone. Siyathokoza niki nonke sinduna.